Hi lovelies people of the world. As a person who wrote a book about how pressure cooker works, what are the beautiful things that you can cook on a pressure cooker, I would like to share my experience. And especially on this video, I will tell you 3 ways that normally you wouldn't think about using your pressure cooker in, but explain them in detail so that you can make everything taste much better and make it incredibly fast and incredibly easy. First, I would like to start with pasta. Yes, you can make pasta in your pressure cooker much faster and incredibly, mind-blowingly tastier in a pressure cooker. You can make the sauce get into the deepest cavities of the pasta and use the starchy water as a great sauce.
I have to admit, your pressure cooker pasta is my favorite pasta.
Yeah, pressure cooker pasta is also my favorite pasta. The detailed recipe is on the channel. Also, another thing, you can make a cheesecake. Making a cheesecake in a pressure cooker is much easier than doing it in the oven. Incredible, but true. Using a pressure cooker makes it harder to fail. You don't need an oven to do it. You don't have to put water at the bottom of a tray. Leave the door of the oven open for an hour. Those things are gone when you use your pressure cooker. Third one is not a big surprise as the other two, but making the meat like a tandoori. The easiest way to make a tandoori-like meat is your good old pressure cooker. An easy chicken recipe needs at least 2 hours to come to a texture that you would like, but with the pressure cooker, it will only take 20 to 30 minutes at the maximum. These recipes that I have talked are gonna be further in the video, but before I start telling you the recipes, I believe they are like giving you the fish, I would like to tell you, like no one does, how the pressure cooker works. And I want to take you to your school days. If you're still at school, what you've learned at school. Do you remember someone like Torricelli?
Do you remember Torricelli?
Yes. Who is Torricelli? The guy who discovered the atmospheric pressure.
Italian, I assume.
Probably. And we're gonna make pasta. What he did, he took a tube without air and he put the tube into mercury. When he put the tube inside the mercury like this, he realized that the mercury decreases to a certain level and in some days increases. The only explanation that this happens is the atmospheric pressure, that there is a pressure in the air that is pushing down the mercury. When it's like a rainy day, heavy, humid day, pressure is higher. When it's a light day with a lot of sun and breeze and no humidity, the pressure is lower. This atmospheric pressure actually puts pressure on what? Water as well. So this water with the pressure, when heated from the bottom, only the water can say, holy moly, I want to be free at 100 degrees Celsius in the sea level. With the heat, it can change phase. Until then, because there is this pressure from the atmosphere, it wouldn't change any phase. But if we increase this pressure, add some more pressure, then the water cannot say, holy moly, I want to break free in 100 degrees. It needs some more pressure. It can go to 120, 140, etc, etc. If the pressure increases, it will get down. Anyone goes to skiing here? Skiing in the Alps. Alp, is a Turkish name, and the Alp name of the mountains came from Huns going to all the way there. I didn't know that. This is our Robert. You can remember him from our videos. Went to Alps in the 3,000 meters, ordered a tea. The tea has come. There are a lot of fog on top, but when he sips, it's not hot enough. Why?
Because of the altitude.
Because of the altitude, I said 3,000 meters. As we said that in the 100 degrees, the water will boil, but if you increase the pressure, it will increase. But if you decrease the pressure, because now you don't have 3,000 meters of air on top of you, it's below Robert's feet, it's here. It won't boil in 100 degrees, but maybe it will boil in 97 degrees or maybe even lower. What do we understand from here? If we increase the atmospheric pressure, we increase the boiling point of water. How does it help us in cooking? When we're cooking, usually we cook with water. The content of whatever we eat has a lot of water in it. So when you heat it, actually the whole thing cannot go over 100 degrees. For it to go over 100 degrees, even in a 200 degree oven, you put, let's say, a watery meaty dish, it bubbles, so it gives away the water away, but it cannot go higher than 100 degrees. This is quite important because the watery content always pushes it to a lower degrees. But when we increase the pressure and increase the boiling point of water to 120 degrees, the whole content, let's say there's a chicken and some water with the content, the whole thing can come up to 120 degrees. So what happens? This is the cooking time. This is pressure also slash Celsius, the degrees that it can go high. The pressure is normal pressure. The cooking time is, let's say if it's a meat, 2 hours. We increase it a bit. The cooking time will lower into, let's say, an hour. We increase the pressure. The cooking time gets lessened to, let's say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So the curve is something similar to this. As you increase the pressure, you increase the degrees. The cooking time reduces in a logarithmic way. It's not a straight line. From 100 degrees to, let's say, 110, it's not 10%. You halve the cooking time. We increase the pressure inside the pressure cooker, and then cooking time gets reduced incredibly. The whole thing inside, instead of getting up to 100 degrees, it will go higher. That's basically it. And slowly, I also would like to tell you how the pressure cooker increases its pressure. What it does, you put something, you always need to put a bit of water. First, it starts to bubble, takes away the oxygen out, and then it starts to create humidity. And then pressure cooker locks itself. The evaporated water creates an atmosphere. Because there is more evaporation of water, then there is a lot of humidity under the pressure cooker to this water, so this water cannot move itself and change phase into a vapor, but it will increase its degrees. Another thing, because this is a lot of pressure going down and down, it also creates that pressure in a piece of, let's say, a piece of meat like this. It's not just the heat, but also there is, let's say, a very nice sauce here. Because there is a pressure on water, pressure is everywhere, so this sauce gets into the cells of the meat much easier. Same as if this was a pasta like this. Suddenly, okay, we have lines, we have the cavities, the red sauce gets in and it will soak the flavor much better.
Also, as the flavor does not evaporate, everything is tastier.
You're good. If we were, let's say, making this great oyster sauce meat on a stir fry or pan, we hear the smell everywhere. What is that smell? It is part of this sauce evaporating, going all around. In the pressure cooker, it's under the lid and everything, and those beautiful flavors are stuck in, trying to get into the meat. Anyways, hope you have another idea of the pressure cookers. In Turkey, there's this big thing about pressure cookers exploding, blowing up. New ones, like the Fistler ones, the one I have here, they have so many securities that doesn't happen. Actually, we have tested that in a video in our Turkish channel. The safety valves, these rubbers are special rubbers, so that after a certain amount of pressure, it will leave, so it doesn't blow up. But in the old days, that used to happen, I know, but not anymore. In many of the electric cookers that I know that are used in US and Europe, they have this pressure cooker mode. So you can use your pressure cooker mode in a different way in these terms. So I think this is a good explanation. I hope you've enjoyed that explanation. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please share our videos through WhatsApp, through other channels. It's really important for the word to spread out. Ladies and gentlemen, and every lovely people of the world, we're going through hard times, so all your support is above our head in Turkey, we say. So let's move to the recipes. Small announcement, our Amazon sales on US is closing down. So we have this beautiful tea glass, my famous knives there, a few more things. Unfortunately, we are closing it down, so there's a big reduction on the prices and you won't be able to find those things in a one-day delivery. I don't know for how long. So keep in mind, if you want to buy, I'll put the link down below. We start this beautiful pasta recipe. Everything happens in one pot. That's also a great side of it. We put some olive oil and a bit of butter. When they are heated, add 2 cloves of garlic. Then about 200 grams of tomato puree. You can add passata or diced tomatoes and some tomato juice, salt, black pepper, and to decrease the acidity of the tomato sauce, some sugar. You can also add a bit of vinegar if you like. It's gonna be a very tasty sauce, but still a bit thick because we need the pasta to soak the water. So to do that, we add, if you have some stock, meat stock, chicken stock, or vegetable stock, and about 4 cups of water. Sometimes we make concentrated meat stock, 4 concentrated meat stock, or directly 4 cups of stock would do as well. When it's bubbling, add half a kilo of pasta, stir it a bit. When it starts to totally boil, close the lid, put it on the highest heat, very fast. It will take the oxygen out and then it will be closed. In 5 minutes, your pasta is gonna be ready. Put the pressure cooker under running water or take the pressure out immediately. It will look a bit runny with excess water, but it's not actually. It has to come to its senses. So to do that, on the stove top for about a minute, stir the pasta. Then you'll see that the consistency is gonna be just as you like it. Then you can add some cheese. It could be Parmesan cheese. In Turkey, we have İzmir tulumu, which is great. Something which is aged, or some fresh cheese as well. Some mozzarella could do, with a bit of basil. You can say this is a very simple pasta. Yes, it's a very simple pasta, but it's an incredibly tasty pasta and it takes less than 10 minutes to make. And the beautiful thing, the difference is this pasta is cooked with the sauce. Normally, when you make the sauce on the stovetop, the pasta cannot soak the sauce as much. It won't be as tasty. With the pressure cooker, as I said, it will soak the pasta taste and it will be heavenly. I think on the channel we have this. I also use the pressure cooker to make risotto-like pasta recipes as well. So this is another version. You can try it. I'll put the link. Second recipe is this beautiful cheesecake. This beautiful cheesecake is incredibly easy to make. For the cheese, we're gonna use cottage cheese or fresh cheese. You can make it on your own if you like. Put some milk, let it boil, and then put some lemon juice or vinegar. And when it curdles, take it out, put it in the food processor. Add half a cup of sugar, 120 grams. Then add 2 tablespoons of yogurt. Make the sugar and the cheese a puree. 1 whole egg, 2 egg yolks. Have a small rest, a pulse, and let them all mix. Then add your melted chocolate, about 240 grams, bitter chocolate or the chocolate that you like. That's all the thing that you need. No folding, no this and that, etc. Everything is ready. I forgot to tell you about the bottom. The bottom of the cheesecake, we need some biscuits. It could be Lotus biscuits, whatever you like using for as a cheesecake. Put it in a processor, make it like a sand, add some melted butter, then continue with the processor a little, not too much. Then take it out and press it in your mold, including the walls. Then, how you put it in your pressure cooker. If yours is big like this, to the bottom, you need to put something that will hold the tray a little higher, like this. Usually when you use your pressure cooker for steaming, they are sold especially for this. But if you don't have something like that, for example, something like this, can get into the bottom. If it has a hole, it's better, but it can also be something like this, but this might swim in, so this is preferably better. And then put 3 cups of water, put your tray in, then close your lid. Some pressure cookers have levels. For example, this one has a level. 1 is for steaming, like this. 1 is for veggies, medium level of pressure. 2 is for meats, etc. Whatever your pressure cooker highest level, put it in the highest level. Turn the heat on. We're gonna cook it for 25 minutes. Something that I forgot to tell about the pressure cooker is we start with high heat. After it takes the oxygen out, this will start to go high. Like this. After the green, this used to be red, not anymore, old one, it goes as high as possible, then it can't go higher. So what it does, it takes the extra moisture away. We don't want that. At that point, we have to reduce the heat. Maybe to the lowest eye of the stove and even to the lowest level. We need to continue in the consistency of this without steam popping out. If the steam is popping out, you're doing it wrong. After 22 minutes, turn the heat off. Wait another for 3 minutes. After 25 minutes, probably the pressure cooker is gonna be ready to open. If not, take the extra pressure out and then your cheesecake is ready. Because it's with a lot of water and moist, let it sit for maybe 10-15 minutes in there, but you don't even have to do that. Take it out, let it come to the room temperature and then put it in the refrigerator until it settles. Your cheesecake is ready without so many hassles. Some cuts of meat are very soft already, like chicken is or filet is. But some cuts of meat, like the throat, the back, the round, these are like harder muscled meats that when you cook gets really chewy and stiff. The pressure cooker works in miracles to create softness. Unfortunately, we didn't make a video of hard meat, but I have this incredible recipe that you cook the chicken in 25 minutes and it becomes like a meat that you would want to order in a restaurant like Nobu or Asian fusion restaurant that you would enjoy. So this recipe is one of my favorites. I like it while I give parties. On one side it's like a street food. I put a bit of lavash and cucumbers and I serve it really well. How does it work? We take chunks. It could be the breast or it could be the thighs of the chicken. To that we prepare a mixture. We use molasses. You can use a bit of maple syrup if you like, or honey and balsamic vinegar as well. But if you can find iced Turkish molasses, that's wonderful. To that molasses you add a bit of vinegar. Sourness is good. Then a bit of salt. First a bit of garlic, then a bit of butter. Some non-sweet peanut butter. If you don't have it, you can have peanuts. Put it on a processor and eventually it will turn into peanut butter. Some soy sauce and a bit more butter again. This is a great mixture. Mix it all well with the meat. If you have time, let it sit at least for 2 hours. It can sit overnight. If it's overnight, better. It will get into the cells of the chicken, make it even better. Then when they're ready, take your pressure cooker, sear the meat. We like the brownness, we like the Maillard reaction that gives the excess taste. Put it on the side, then put it back. Also put that marinade in. The chicken is gonna give some more water, so you don't need to put excess water in. Everything goes in and cook it for 20 to 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, when you take the pressure out, you'll see great chicken, but the recipe is not yet finished. Take the chicken and even in your hands, they will melt into thin stripes. There's a lot of nice water in the pressure cooker, so also simmer it inside the pressure cooker without closing the lid for 5 more minutes and then it's gonna be ready to eat. I hope you have enjoyed our series on pressure cooker. There are so many, again, very different things. For example, this is a queen's dessert without any sugar additives. The queens can even turn into this color thanks to the pressure cooker. So many different things that can be done with pressure cooker. If you don't want to miss them, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment. Those are really important. Share it with your loved ones. We need all the support that you can give, guys. Lots and lots of love.